Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Geek Bytes podcast, episode number 150. I am Ramon Mejia here.
I'm Edgardo Acosta.
And every single week on the podcast, we bring you the round of week's best geek and tech news. We discuss that news, of course, anything else we happen to be interested in that weekend. This week, we're talking about some great stuff.
So in geek news this week, we'll talk about Nanobots, Black Panther dominance, Gambit movie, Roswell casting, the best commercials from Japan, the movie trailer showdown, and much more.
Absolutely, folks. But before we begin, of course, we talk about geek news. Look, there's Doug. Why is he green? Hey, Doug.
Updates.
Hey, Doug. Of course, we have some live listeners on the Facebook stream, so just saying hi to everybody there in the live chat.
Any questions? Drop them on.
Absolutely. Of course. We'll begin with our first story in geek news, including actual geeky tech stuff. We don't have a lot of this recently, but this is just too interesting a story to pass up. Science fiction no more. There's an article this week in Nature's Biotechnology. Scientists were able to show tiny autonomous bots that have potential to function as very intelligent delivery vehicles to cure cancer. In this case, it was in mice. These DNA nanobots do so by seeking out and injecting cancerous tumors with a drug, then cut off their blood supply, shriveling them up, and killing them. And they were actually able to show that this resulted in tumor necrosis, death of tumors, and inhibition of tumor growth. So, like, science fiction-y stuff, or like little robots go into your bloodstream and do actual things. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, but think about it. Well, sounds weird. Do they breed mice intentionally with cancer, or does cancer can be inserted into the mice?
I'm sure they can make cancer. There's plenty of ways that are proven, like, oh, these things cause cancer, like
cigarettes,
I don't know, radiation.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I was gonna say maybe the type of cancer, because unless you're giving little cigarettes to the mice,
you think there's like a little Amazon tab said searching for cancer mice, and they just like order some from like the Amazon.
Well, they've experimented with things on mice. Obviously, everything from growing human ears under the skin of mice. Of course, all the kind of biological mutations, breedings. That's why I'm like, how do you know a mouse has cancer unless it's
Nope, it's pretty darn intentional. It's cancer mice. That's what they're making, and so they try to cure it, of course. And like I said, this is tested on animals, so that people be safe for people. This is kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. You can't argue with it if it actually cures cancer. If it works, and
totally.
I was like, geez, like they'll forgive a lot. People forgive a lot of stuff if like something cures cancer. So, like,
well, of course, I don't know if you listen to any other kind of like podcasts and stuff, but I was listening to like Joe Rogan, where they have a weird opinion on how people feel about certain animals. Like when they experiment on mice, it's a mouse, whatever.
It's a mouse.
But if they were to experiment on puppies, everybody like, shut that mother down.
Well, no, anything we domesticated and consider part of your family, people tend to have issues with that. So it's a weird mix.
Yeah.
But the point of that particular article is possible cancer cure.
Get some cancer puppies.
I think that's the bigger story about that. Like, nanotech could possibly cure cancer, and it's been shown to work in mice at least.
We're all for that.
So there we go. Okay, next story onto the entertainment stuff. Black Panther. It's the news this weekend. It came out on this past holiday weekend. It is making bang, like lots of money, and more money than people thought it was going to make, and they are estimating highly. Deadline has numbers from industry insiders saying that the 3-day take might be as much as $195 million, while the 4-day haul is even bigger at $225 million. Analysts are saying that it could end up pulling even more than that, up to like $230 this holiday weekend. Now, just for comparison, the entire Justice League run in box office did $228.6 million domestically, and Black Panther might be just making that just this weekend. So that's a huge amount of money. Like we were talking about, like, before it came out,
I've been praising
weeks and weeks and weeks before, like if this is done correctly, and look from the trailers that this was going to be more successful than any of the analysts thought, because they just don't understand how important this particular intellectual property is for brown and black people, like
people of color.
Yeah. And so it was just underestimated. And so far, all the reviews that I've seen on the internet have been great. I plan on watching it a little bit later today. He's watching it tomorrow.
But thankfully, no spoilers that I've caught yet.
There have been some on the internet, plenty of those. And there's even like a stupid internet viral thing where people who don't like the movie, who don't like the idea of black people enjoying something apparently, have been posting fake Twitter feeds or Facebook feeds saying, "Oh, white people are getting beat up at the Black Panther movie," and it's totally fake. Like all the models,
Just racist people.
all the pictures of the women who have been shown there are like, "Oh, the actual models are coming in and say, no, that was for a movie we did, like a zombie movie or like some other kind of movie." So
just people like to stir up the pot, the drama, and all that. But I've been praising this movie when it was just an idea.
Yeah.
And even when they first showed it Black Panther in Civil War, I was like,
there you go.
You know, because he is the hero that everybody wanted. I always said I wanted this movie to make of movement, and thankfully it's actually pulling through.
Seems pretty cool. I can't wait to watch it later today.
Yeah, because one of the cool things is I've seen, I don't know if you caught these videos, but depending on how I view it, people that were very pro, like, Black Panther, black, whatever kind of thing. Okay. They were literally people doing with the fists, which I'm totally cool with. There's people donning their gear, their garb, wearing kentes.
Yeah, there's plenty of like Black Panther gear already out there.
No, but I'm talking about like the kente. You know what the kente is?
Kuta kente? As in the guy from Roots?
It's the African tribal pattern of the clothing that they wear.
Okay.
But there was people that were doing crazy demonstrations of tribal dance shows.
No, I remember at the Black Panther premiere, like everybody came dressed in African style garb.
African royalty was the theme.
It was just like, I mean, it's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Like it's people going crazy. So good job on them for making such great money. That indicates probably, okay, this is going to be a franchise that they're going to be making. So yay.
Oh, but it's going to be so much more than that.
So there you go. Okay, in more entertainment stuff, we have Channing Tatum's long-awaited Gambit film. It got a new release date, so we were honestly a little bit worried at that because in the latest promotion from the network that was producing it, they left it off their production schedule entirely because they keep losing directors, they keep losing actors, they keep losing scriptwriters, and every time there's a new director, that director wants to put their own spin on it and rewrite the script, which means you're starting the process all over again, and that's horrible for a film, especially when you have something like 4 or 5 different directors who have coming on. But the film again has a new release date. It's going to come out on June 7th, 2019. So it was originally scheduled for, I believe it was February the 14th of 2019, about a year from now. And they have pushed it back another 4 or 5 months. So that is, hopefully they'll stick to it because, it's kind of been like a movie with a curse at this point.
Hopefully, especially with the whole Disney taking the property, I say dump, and I don't mean it in a bad way, dump everything that was the intentional idea for Gambit. Let Disney run it, do it, what they've been doing with everything else, and it will be amazing.
If was who owns the X-Men is a Fox, I think Fox, right?
Fox at the time.
If Fox would just give the property to Marvel or like co-produce it the same way that Sony's been doing with Spider-Man recently, then they would make hand over fist more money than just doing it themselves. Like Marvel has the recipe, Marvel has the talent, Marvel's willing to put in the effort of making it part of like a franchise, like a larger concept franchise. It's just like, honestly, Fox is dropping the ball on the entire mutant opportunity.
Spider-Man Homecoming was a prime example that they can share a property with the way Sony does with Spider-Man. There's the proof is right there. It can be done.
It can be done, but they won't because they like money and they enjoy exclusivity. There you go. That's what it comes down to.
Great.
Okay. Next story is Sorta Online. If you've never watched it, shame on you. It's a really great anime about people trapped in a virtual reality video game, which totally plays in line with that, Let Everybody podcast stuff that I do also. It's a very common theme in those kind of stories. But Sword Art Online is actually making a US debut, and this is the live action version. Netflix has purchased the live action version of this, at least in the script form, and they plan to make it, and they promise not to whitewash it. The folks, Lieta Kalderidius, who you might know from Altered Carbon, she put the screenplay treatment for Sword Art Online before Netflix. They purchased it, but she, of course, had the condition that they be hiring Japanese actors and actresses. So this is going to be not replacing the brown people with white people. Hopefully, cross our fingers. But it's a very interesting and well-beloved anime and manga franchise.
I find it kind of interesting that you don't want it whitewashed. Yet your character designs of your people are really wide-eyed. So it's kind of like you don't want them to look like the characters, but you don't want to use people that look like the character.
Oh, you're saying that these people in the anime look white? Is that what you mean?
No, look at
just wide-eyed. Yeah,
very wide-eyed.
It's very much like an anime style, though.
Yeah,
less to do with like racial preferences.
Or I can't think of the movie or that one, the robot girl that literally has the.
Oh, you mean I forget, is it Aquila? It's something like that.
Something like that. Now, if they did all the characters like that,
that was just creepy. Well, yeah,
you're looking at literally wide-eyed.
No, but because it's uniformed along everybody, it's less noticeable. Like this is a particular art style, and because it's not everybody, because it's semi-proportional to their actual face size, then it honestly you don't notice difference. But when it's people look like the anime characters, and then some people don't, there's the difference between them is what sticks out in people's mind. Like people's minds notice differences, not necessarily the sameness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this looks. I'm hoping they do a good job. Huge fan of this particular franchise. It led me into a little RPG which combines virtual reality a lot of times with also game mechanics and stuff. Yeah. And so this is a beloved franchise in that particular subgenre of novels as well. So hopefully they'll do it correctly, because I mean Altered Carbon turned out pretty well, and Altered Carbon is also a very different intellectual property. It's very much cyberpunk fiction that's been around for decades. And I'm curious to see how they're going to incorporate virtual reality, game mechanics, RPG mechanics, because this particular anime plays a lot like a video game.
Yeah, because I think if I'm right, either tomorrow or sometime by the end of this month, Netflix will have the live action Full Metal Alchemist. So we'll be able to see more like legit Asian characters playing Asian characters. So we'll see how it turns out. Yeah,
it's supposed to come out sometime in March, I believe. So there you go. Also, Ready Player One, it should be out on the end of March, which is only about a month away at this point. So that's another kind of property along the same lines of virtuality. Okay, next story, casting news. Roswell, this is Gene Masson from Grey's Anatomy has been tapped to lead the CW pilot for Roswell, a reboot with an immigration twist of the occult sci-fi series. This is the synopsis for that particular movie. Reluctantly returning to her tourist-trapped hometown of Roswell, New Mexico, Liz Orcheto, a jaded biomedical researcher and the daughter of an undocumented immigrant, is haunted by a tragic incident. She discovers a shocking truth about her teenage crush, who is now a police officer. He's an alien who's kept his unearthly abilities hidden his entire life. She protects his secret as the two reconnect and begin to investigate his origins. But when a violent attack and a long-standing government cover-up point to a greater alien presence on Earth, the politics of fear and hatred threaten to expose him and destroy their deepening romance. So more immigrant-ish version of Roswell. I mean, you can kind of compare these two people. This girl on the left is supposed to be playing this, I forget what her name was in the show.
I just think of it as a play on the words on the whole concept of illegal aliens.
Yeah, so. I figured there was something in that, like a pitch meeting. Hey, Roswell with actual
illegal aliens
and alien aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and somebody bought it.
Yeah.
So that is some casting news. I doubt it's going to get past pilot phase, but if it does, I'll probably take a look.
So are you a fan? Did you watch the original series when it came out?
Yeah, absolutely. I watched it regularly, but it was also in the time period of like a lot of like these teenage romance movies or shows that came out at the time frame.
At the time, the CW was very Dawson's Creek-y.
Like Dawson's Creek, 90210.
And the music and
Roswell,
the intros, very... Yeah.
It was less sci-fi, more teen romance drama. So, yeah. Okay, more casting news. We have casting for the Greatest American Hero. That girl from New Girl. That girl, right, this one right here, who's on the screen. Her name is Hannah Simone.
Oh, never mind, different girl.
Hannah Simone is going to be playing the Greatest American Hero. The synopsis for that one is that the Greatest American Hero centers around Maria, a 30-year-old who loves tequila and karaoke and has spent her life searching and failing to find meaning, much to the chagrin of her traditional Indian American family.
No, Indian dot or feather? I know it's racist, but I said believe.
Okay. An inexplicable event occurs that will change the course of Marie's life forever. She's entrusted with a super suit to protect the planet. Marie may have finally found purpose, but the world has never been in more unreliable hands. So there you go. It goes from curly-haired white guy teacher to drunkish Indian girl.
Well, she's hot. I'm going to give you that. So they're definitely selling it for sex appeal.
They are.
Yeah, because they're not giving her like a blonde perm.
She's never that character has never been super funny to me. But maybe she could make it work. And again, this is kind of just the pilot at this point. They may recast later, but I think I never pegged her as. I don't know if she actually is Indian, but I guess
whichever nationality they're going to give her
for anywhere.
Yeah, I just hope they'll give her the whole awkward flying where he's like, just keeps falling everywhere every time he tries to land. I never understood the insignia. I never watched the show. I always thought it looked very, very. I don't know. I don't know the word to say it. Looks like a battering ram.
Okay, battering ram is not what we'll go with. Yeah, I remember watching. I don't think I was really paying attention when this came out originally. I think I was just like slightly too young. But I more recently watched some of the episodes on YouTube, and they are very comedic oriented, and they don't do the superhero thing well. They are making fun of it a lot.
Yeah.
And that was just the way it was in the 80s.
What made the show was the theme song.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing that's lasted throughout the years is the theme song. But hey, I'll probably give it a chance. There you go. That's all we can ever promise. Okay, on to our next story, Kung Fury. It's a mashup between Kung Fu and just like these out of the wall stuff. I mean, it's hard to describe because it really is just so weird. And it's very much like 80 nostalgia, fighting galore action. I think there was at some point a Tyrannosaurus Nazi or something, if I recall.
We
watched a while ago.
It was out there, but honestly, it was pretty much like a joke. Mm-hmm. But the joke was so good that they've extended it.
I think it was originally a YouTube thing, and then they extended it out to like a half an hour's with him, became a Netflix thing, and now they're actually going to remake it with actual action stars, including Michael Fassbender and Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're both going to be in the redone version of this, like the professionally extended cut version of this particular action comedy kind of movie. So legitimate action stars are going to be in this thing.
And it was so good.
That is just so weird to me because this feels like an indie film. This was like a school project for somebody who was going to school for special effects. And then they're like, hey, let's just turn this into a movie. And, they made a budget. They did a Kickstarter.
Way to go.
And now it's going to be made into redone into a real movie with real action stars. And that's almost this next level of weird parody.
I love it. I say if there was more of that, there'd be more actual entertainment in the world. Because when you let the big wigs at the big production companies have a run at it, they're like, no, people aren't going to watch that. People are like, well, I'm not making it for those people. I just want to make this movie. That's how a lot of movies say it's a lot of trial and errors. But a lot of indie ones, that's why they develop what's called cult followings because they're like, this movie is awesome.
This definitely has a cult following among people. I thought it went on a little too long. I kind of got bored. Midway through, but I can see how it's very entertaining for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Speaking of more remakes, we have Willy Wonka is getting a remake treatment. It found its director, Paul King, who's best known for his Paddington Bear films. The film will not be an original tale. It'll be but a standalone movie focused on Wonka and his early life adventures. It will focus on a young Willy Wonka and how he met now iconic Oompa Loompas on one of his early adventures. The original novel was written by Ronald Dahl. In those books, Wonka came across the Oompa Loompas in Loompa Land. He invited them to work in his chocolate factory because he was concerned about their survival. Apparently, Loompa Land is very harsh and dangerous. It's also reported that Ryan Gosling wants to play Willy Wonka.
So it's a prequel.
It is a prequel. It's supposed to, it's not going to touch upon the original movie that everybody loves, but a prequel when he's slightly younger.
I'm wondering what he's going to look like because, especially if it's going to be an adaptation of the Gene Wilder, the orange-skinned Oompa Loompas, or if they're going to go Tim Burton with the, I think he's Indian, right? Middle Eastern Indian. They're Oompa Loompa. It was just one guy.
Oh,
but they CG'd and multiplied him a bunch of times. He had that kind of weird.
I feel like they're going to do the Alice in Wonderland treatment version of this, just prequel style, just fantasy adventure. I hope it works out, but this is I don't know who asked for this. I know those movies made money, but it's more because Johnny Depp was in then. That being such a great, amazing movie. Like most people that I know love the original one with Gene Wilder better than anything that was ever remade.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be good enough to put on in the theaters. I could definitely see it on Netflix, Hulu, one of those kind of distributors, but theater, well, we'll
and
see.
Ryan Gosling seems a little old to be a young Willy Wonka. But he definitely has the pull to get in the film. I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Okay, next, another sequel here. It's going to be The Karate Kid, sequelized, called Cobra Kai. There's now a teaser trailer to show you your first look at that particular series. You see Daniel Russo come face-to-face with his old rival, Johnny Lawrence, for the first time since the original film. This synopsis says, the story is set 30 years after the events of the 1998 All-Valley Karate Tournament. It revolves around a down-and-out Johnny who's seeking redemption, reopens the infamous Cobra Kai dojo. This reignites his rival with now successful Daniel, who's living his life as a family man and proud owner of the #1 car dealership in the valley. He has also been struggling to maintain balance in his life without the guidance of his mentor, Mr. Miyagi. So we'll pop up the trailer for you. But it's more just like, oh, your first look at a thing. So
the weirdest part is, like, once again, depending on the distributor, it's coming out on YouTube Red. So it's not something you're going to see on Netflix, not Hulu. It's on YouTube Red. So if you're a subscriber, you'll be able to check it out. But the whole concept of it was really good. There was even like a little fan films where they made Ralph Macchio to be the bad guy. And I
think fan cuts the movie. You mean, yeah,
and they made Johnny the good guy, and said the whole reason that Johnny lost is because of an illegal kick that Ralph Macchio did. So it was like a kind of like a joke on that, but it was really well done, and everybody wanted to see it. Everybody wanted to see, like, there's got to be more to it. There's got to be more. You can't just end it that way, especially when you have a bully / rival in your same town and whatnot. You're bound to run into them again.
They think they've seen each other bound on
exactly.
This can't be the first time they've ever seen each other.
Oh yeah, going to the grocery store, giving those dirty looks. Being at the laundromat, giving those dirty looks. At the theater, giving those dirty looks.
At the end of it, like Johnny wasn't like, he was like, "Oh, good for you, kid. Good for you, Daniel. I respect you now." And I'm curious to see how they're going to play up this entire concept. And like, they're going to bring in their kids, and
that's what I was going to say. I'm like, where are they going to go next generation? And it's going to be his kid versus his kid, and them duking it out.
Yeah. Okay. Also, in some interesting entertainment stuff, we have a clip from Thor Ragnarok, deleted scenes. Apparently, the DVD release of Thor Ragnarok is going to be introducing that guy, the Collector.
Jeff
Goldblum as his character. I think it is the Collector, right? As the roommate.
Different guy.
What's he called?
The Collector's a different guy.
No, who is he playing? I can't remember now.
Him? I can't think of his name though.
The
but I know.
sportsman, the gladiator, the contestant man.
I'll find it real quick.
I forget what it is, but his character from the movie Thor Ragnarok, he's going to be paired up with the. Remember, there was a short teaser thing where Thor has a roommate named Daryl. Well, they're doing the same thing except with Jeff Goldblum's character. Apparently, that was originally part of like the promotional work for the movie, and so they're releasing it with the DVD version of Thor Ragnarok. So, and I believe they released a clip on YouTube just to kind of give you a vibe of like what it's for.
Kind of looks a little bit like The Odd Couple just by looking at the thing.
The Thor Daryl one was definitely very much like The Odd Couple stuff. So
Grandmaster.
So my last housemate left all of a sudden, but fortunately through my work,
seems very
position came up in Los Angeles, so I needed to find a new housemate.
Hello.
The Grandmaster was
just
the only one
Jeff
who
Goldblum in
answered my
general. Like,
Craigslist
I don't care which character he plays. He could be the Grandmaster. He could be the Jurassic Park guy. He could be even the guy from The Fly.
At first I thought he was
He's just
another
a funny guy in
then
general.
I realized he was more than likely from another planet.
I like learning about your culture. What do you call this?
Toast.
Yes. I come from...
For a second, I thought I was
It's
like
a
a
haven
fat Ben Savage for a second.
No. Yeah, so entertaining stuff. Go check it out. That's an entertaining movie in general, so to go watch that is entertaining too. Now, our last news story. This was actually submitted by a friend of the podcast, Charles Dean. He's an author of a little bit of stuff. We chat a little bit. He sent me this video. I'm like, I just had to share it on the show.
I'm just looking at the still
Yeah,
going.
his authors of Award Attorneys and The Bathroom Night. Go check out his stuff on Amazon. But these are the best Japanese commercials of 2017. We're just going to go be sitting through them, listening to them, and making comments on
I was
them.
say, do they have
at some
the
point.
do they have an equivalent to Super Bowl? So it's during that time, it's their best stuff.
I don't know.
Oh, Cup of Noodle ones are always awesome.
Yeah. So this is a cup of noodle commercial. Yeah. So many weird things happening in this commercial. It's very. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, folks, it's hard for us to describe. It looks like it's for like an instant bean paste commercial. Hard to tell though.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, very.
I was
very,
always into this. The more obscure, the more, because you need a commercial to grab your attention to be like, what the,
Yeah, and that's what this is. This one is like a little tiny pony who's is what's it called, envious of the larger horses skipping over things, and it turns out to an Amazon Prime commercial.
That guy's still. What the?
I don't know if that's the actual dude.
No, that's
Is
the
that
actual
Sai?
guy.
Okay, so that's Sai
Keto something.
Yeah. doing a commercial for Lemon.
He's Keegan Taro, I think his name is.
Yeah, Fanta. It's a Fanta commercial.
And I gotta give credit for him for being I don't even know how many second short little audio clip. He's milking it. He's making money. He's getting paid. They've actually one time at some, I think it was a Japanese award show, had him with an orchestra doing an elaborate, exaggerated version of that little short song, and it was so good.
There you go. Next one is for ice cream, I think. It's
It
hard
looks
to
like
tell.
it so far.
It's a bunch of people looking at this kid pulling on a string on some ice cream cone.
What do you call it?
with
Like
expectation.
a drumstick?
No idea. I think it's a prize in a cone. You can win an ice cream robot. I think that's the point of it.
I'm all for it. Yeah.
Like you really should be watching the video
winner.
version of this,
Yeah.
folks, if you can. You can find it at geekbytespodcast.com or on our YouTube page. This is highly interesting. Giant diamond makes a giant ladybug.
やっぱやめにしましょう。
知性にかけるわ。
マグロには
I bet it's commercials for insurance.
銀の皿。
Sushi? Is that what it's for? That was the sushi commercial?
Sure.
Oh,
Or
I
the
think I've
infamous
seen this one
giant
before.
robots and giant monsters. Love it.
Yeah, this is a giant monster walking over Japan, but it's very much they had a Square Enix logo before, so it's like this is a character from one of their properties. I think I've seen this commercial before. It's for like a mobile game. You know how Pokemon does AR?
Oh, yeah.
It's specific for like some Square Enix product.
Oh, there you go.
Where it's like, oh, if you go somewhere in particular, it's like geotag, like, oh, you can fight monsters.
Very Pokemon Go-ish.
Yeah, almost for like a different card game. Now this one I never would have guessed what it was for. He's shooting golden balls from his finger.
Okay. It's about finger blasting.
That
as
seems
you
that
can
way.
tell.
Oh look,
And
a white
white
girl.
girl.
Yeah. Oh, the other guy also could finger blast. Thanks to premium
I want to say coffee. Yeah, it's coffee bean.
coffee stuff. Oh, I get it. Is the bean they were showing? Golden bean.
Even white
She's-
girls
She's
get.
still tied up, so yeah.
Even white girls have it big in Japan.
Apparently.
でもこいつには勝てるから。
Mobile game? Is that what we're guessing this one is? Super powered? Yeah.
And the
Shadowverse.
looks
Okay.
beat your
Oh.
friends with a swing of a fist, and of course Mario.
Japanese looking Mario with the mustache.
もう終わり？次テニスだって。
I like it. Oh, DS game. So it's probably Mario Party.
Mario Party on the DS. Horse riding, tennis.
I always wanted to learn any Asian language in Japan, China, Japanese, Chinese, depending if it's mainland or what's it, Mandarin. Because I always wanted to learn.
No, we're totally wrong. It was for power. It was for a drink. That entire commercial was for a drink. They bait and switched us. That's the Nintendo. Lets them do it though. This, I'm not sure what this is. It seems illegal though.
Glow sticks.
Glow stick party girl dance moves.
Or if it's come to Japan, where girls dance with glow sticks. Maybe it's a travel thing.
Lumika. Nope, no idea.
Glow
They
sticks.
didn't
Stick
explain.
and glow sticks. Oh,
Oh, so this is a Death Note play.
And they've had the Death Note character in other things before. Even Death Note, or I forgot what's the name of the Death Note character. They've had him do a parody of the pineapple pen.
So that was just a mobile game, I guess.
Yeah, this one's the same thing, mobile game.
With like definitely an anime intro.
Oh yeah, they've done some amazing ones for like once again it was like a ramen commercial.
Mobile card game.
Just
Clash Royale. That was for us for a mobile game that we sort of get here. Okay.
Game.
Exploding
Game.
Yeah.
Totally a game.
But which one? Is it an AR game or is it a mobile game is the question?
Mobile.
それはすぐそこでずっと私
Oh,
を
they got money in order to be able to do it. See?
本格幻想
DS game.
RPG
Maybe. RPG something. Kidnap yourself?
Yeah. Get lost in the game, pretty much. This is Johnny Depp. Yep,
Oh,
I've seen
you
this
call
one.
this one?
Yeah, this one he did. I think it was rather for a men's cologne, if I'm right. So it's like, if you want to be cool like Johnny Depp, be a rock star, you gotta wear this cologne or drink this drink.
And does he say anything in this commercial? So that's what the bet is now. Nope.
Beer.
Beer. Haha, not cologne. It was beer.
No, there's been a couple commercials where the Americans
Super
been-
Dry Oishi.
Yeah. Nice.
Bionic Arm. The Chester.
Was a PS game, so
Is that what you think it is? It's a PS game?
yeah, they just showed the PS logo thing.
I think the music is in English.
Yeah,
Like, that's kind of weird.
nice.
It's a Japanese commercial with English music. And then like Japanese subtitles.
And you think they would show it here in the States, especially if it's going to be English. Yeah, it's all the games, because they're from the characters. Like, if this is how the test, if you can distinguish what's from what. There's like Katamari kind of like things in it. See, we can do it. Yep. See?
PSVR. Okay, well there you go. What's this next one do you think it is?
Come here. Number 4. Open.
More white people. More white people-ish looking kind of thing.
Which seems like a word for Japanese commercials.
Well, it's got to be something to grab your
Suspicious
attention.
Child.
Well, the thing is with commercials, even if
What's
it's just
in there?
Japan, it has to be international. It has to be able to, like, this commercial, I got to be able to show it everywhere else.
So,
Because if you just centralize in one just general country, you know.
oh look, it's an RPG for your mobile. Wouldn't have guessed that. Yeah, there were just
Yeah.
chickens in that suitcase.
And of course, Japan's big on gaming.
Okay, so mobile handheld games with the group. One pretty girl, 3 loserish guys.
Oh,
Snickers?
it's a Snickers. Remember the whole thing? It's like, you need to eat one. You're not acting
Everything
like
was like,
yourself.
oh, you're a whiny schoolgirl. Oh, Kappas?
Air fresheners.
Kappa air fresheners. Dry Kappa.
Yeah.
No idea what it is.
And of course.
Oh, Pokemon and SoftBank. There you go.
I don't know what SoftBank is.
I want to say it's either a game company or it could be a bank. I don't know. Running Pikachu people.
お店でピカチュウノートプレゼント中
Card game.
Okay, I guess we're a card game. White girl.
Semi-Bollywood-ish. Food, obviously.
Oh, it's restaurant. Eat some pizza, fried chicken.
At a buffet place.
But they're like people with like a pizza head on and a fried chicken head and egg head and noodle heads.
It's a take on that one Bollywood video. I don't know if you ever saw it.
Garlic heads?
No, there was. Yeah.
It was a pre-packaged meal thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always loved how they do that. They've they made their food into art.
A little what is it,
Kitty.
cat
Yeah.
egg thing who wants a little egg coat.
And do it to stir fry.
Oh no, it's not you getting it. It's the ramen getting the egg.
グルメな卵キオララーメン
Eggs. Everybody wants them. Okay, well that was cute.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that's where it was going. We got a whole nother 50 minutes out. Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's still a thing.
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh! School stuff.
頭から離れない戦略カード
Now it's on your mobile device. That's right. That was weird.
Yeah. Another
Ramen commercial that has nothing to do with the ramen. Ramen Man.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Nice. It's like a Beetleborg costume. Oh, that is awesome. He becomes the bite.
There you go. Okay.
Ride that old man.
Yeah, this is some stuff. Okay, I think it's a pretty good place to pause.
Common.
About halfway through that entire thing, so go check out the rest of that YouTube clip.
Now I want to eat ramen. I'm hungry.
See, there you go. That's where we're going next.
Yeah.
Okay. Last bit of our shows, the movie trailer showdown. We have 4 trailers that came out this week. We're gonna pick a winner. We have The Last Movie Star, which is Burt Reynolds. I was thinking Robert Redford. It was.
Show you this.
But it's Burt Reynolds, who's even older.
You're being honored.
He's aged sadly not in a good way.
Well, no, he is his age. He's somewhere in his 80s or 90s. You're probably gonna look like that. Just other people have aged better, but he just looks his age. He's supposed to be getting some award. It turned out to be this really small indie thing instead, and a bunch of people were invited. He was just the only one who showed up, and it's more about a memory road trip at the end with some youngish girl who's showing off too much skin or something. Looks interesting to me. So there it is. Also, Incredibles 2. There was that Super Bowl trailer for it, I think, or it's at least the second sneak peek at it. We have Mole Guy, explosions happening, superhero stuff, mom and dad fighting Mole Dude, who actually popped up at the end of Incredibles 1, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably how they're going to start it off again with the same villain.
It was called the Under or something.
I'm the Under Mole Ground King. Feel me. Ooh, there you go. Teenage stuff going on one last trip. Yeah. And we also have, Ready Player One, Come With Me. This is part of the last trailer that they were going to put out after the commercial. We'll watch it. But it's remember, Ready Player One is essentially set in the far future where reality sucks, but the virtual reality oasis has been made where people can log into the same virtual reality universe and go on these adventures to VR themed worlds. You can have a world that's based on Tron, one based on Blade Runner, whatever else you want to do. Basically, you can also create your own content, and it's supposed to be just everybody's a way to jump into their fan service. But also at the same time, the creator of that world had this contest who says that you can own a majority stake, and I'm leaving my entire fortune to you when you died, but you have to find the Easter eggs and you have to find the contest, and the first player who does gets the whole shebang. And so it's who controls this worldwide property that basically is the foundation for all business in the world now. All education is done through this thing, and it's also a bunch of intellectual properties kind of punching together. So there's so much fandom here in this particular movie. I'm just surprised how many people they got to sign on to the different IPs. So great stuff there. And last but not least is going to be Uncle Drew. So comedy with basketball stuff again after the ad. So we'll play a little clip after this ad. Apparently another 5 seconds.
It happens.
It happens. So there's Uncle Drew. So of the ones that we've played so far, we'll see which one you like the best. And again, this is just kind of pure comedy. A basketball player who went to jail and is coming out as Uncle Drew. So.
Well, I gave credit for Uncle Drew. There's pretty much majority of them are legit basketball players, but they're pretty much donning
old people
get up, and it's you think it's a commercial, but it's a movie. it's extended, so it's good. Part of me kind of wants to check it out, but I wish it was more of a short instead of an extended movie. It gives me the feel of the old.
How long would you want this to be instead of a regular hour and a half?
Oh, like I said, if it was a sketch comedy, a couple minutes or whatever.
It was a bit basically, Saturday Night Live or something.
Oh yeah, because it gives
you think it'd have legs for at least a half an hour short film or something.
Yeah, but this would totally be a straight to DVD kind of flick, of the era of the
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh yeah.
So there you go, 4 trailers, man. Which one did you pick as your winner?
Let's see. Out of the 4, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Incredibles 2, but I really want to check out Ready Player One.
I'll watch them both, obviously, but I'm gonna go with probably Ready Player One. It just has all the stuff. I'm a big fan of the book and the audiobook. Read them at least once a year since I found it. So it was really fun to see this kind of movie come to the big screen where it's popularized. I write in a genre similar to that book. So again, that's also part of my particular excitement. I just hope they don't mess it up too badly. That's also the fear. So there you go. So we have 2 winners, Incredibles 2 and Ready Player One. Go check those out, folks. And that's it for the show. Thank you for watching. If you want to help the support the podcast in any way, shape, or form, feel free to find all the ways you do so at geekbytespodcast.com/support. Thanks again for listening and for watching. For Geek Bytes Podcast, I'm Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo Acosta.
Remember, folks, to go geek out about something. Goodbye, everybody.